All right, guys, we are ready to move on to the next topic. And in that topic, it's going to be telling time and all about time. If you were able to pick up your packet this morning, then you already have with you a clock and you have some games that we will be playing over the course of the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And then if you weren't able to, then I will plan to drop that off at your house so that you have the tools you need, okay? And so we're going to start by combining our first 2 lessons in this unit. The first is just the concept of time. What is a minute? What is an hour? What is a second? And then this other part of the lesson will be knowing AM and PM and being able to tell the difference between the two. What does that mean to be in the AM and what that means to be in the PM, which I think is going to be a fairly easy concept for you to understand. So we often say, hold on a second, or our parents say, just wait a second, or give me 5 minutes and then I'll go and do this or that, okay? But what does that feel like? What does a minute feel like? What does a second feel like? What does an hour feel like? So we're gonna look at some things that take 1 second to complete, or 1 minute to complete, or even 1 hour to complete. So we're gonna start by reading a book together. All right, so this book, and I obviously started it in the middle, it's called Seconds, Minutes, and Hours. It says seconds, minutes, and hours help us measure time. A second is very short. What can you do in a second? I can wink. I can snap. A minute is longer than a second. What can you do in a minute? 60 seconds equals 1 minute. And oftentimes we say for 1 second, we'd say 1 Mississippi. That would be 1 second. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, all the way to 60. Well, in 1 minute, I can write my name. I can count to 50. Now, an hour is longer than a minute. What can you do in 1 hour? Notice that it says 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. Those are the same. So we can say 60 minutes is the same as 1 hour. I can play a soccer game in 1 hour. I can go to the library in 1 hour. Now, we're going to go on to calendar time too. A day is longer than an hour. What can you do in a day? 24 hours equals 1 day. And some of you might want to try to calculate how many minutes is in 1 day. If 60 minutes is in an hour and there's 24 hours in a day, how many minutes would that be in a day? So something fun you might work on later. I can visit my grandma. I can go to school. What do we use to measure time? We can use a stopwatch, a clock, a kitchen timer, an hourglass, just a watch, a wristwatch, or even a digital clock. And we can convert time. 60 seconds equals a minute, 60 minutes equals an hour, and 24 hours equals a day. The end. So those are all about time. So I want to go to this slide, and I want you to get a feel for what does 1 second feel like. Okay, so close your eyes, and I'm going to start a timer. When I say go, you're going to just pause and listen for the timer, because that will be the end of 1 second. Ready? Go. Oh, never mind. Come back. It didn't play like it was supposed to. Go. That was 1 second. Okay? Not very long at all. Like you said, you can wink, right? You can clap your hands in 1 second. Let's see. Ready? 1. Yep, I can clap my hands. What about in 1 minute? I want you to think of something you can do right now that only takes 1 minute. Can you do jumping jacks for a minute? Can you jump on 1 foot for a minute? Can you do a plank for 1 minute? Could you clap your hands repeatedly for 1 minute? Can you hold your breath for 1 minute? Let's give some try, okay? So we're going to do this countdown, and you can see the timer on your screen. Ready? Pick an activity right now that you think you can do for 1 minute. Ready, go. Oh, shoot. Ready, go. Are we done yet? No, you still have 30 more seconds. Four, three, two, one. Stop. Time is up. Were you able to do that activity for 1 minute? Think about how it felt. Did 1 minute feel longer than you expected? Was it shorter than you were expecting? You know, in that 1 minute, I was able to check my email in 1 minute. All right, so let's look at our screen here. We have a couple things that I'm gonna hit escape so we can actually manipulate this, that we could do. Take out the trash. Do you think that would take 1 minute, 1 second, 1 minute, or 1 hour? I think it would take 1 minute. To laugh. Yeah, 1 second. Shout them out at home while you're doing this. Take a deep breath. Try it. Yeah, it's not going to take me a minute to take a deep breath, but, oops, I didn't quite get a hold of it, but probably closer to a second for a deep breath. Wash a load of laundry. To get that laundry washed, an hour. Yeah, I think that would take a long time. To turn on a light, to flip the switch, yeah, 1 second. To put away your shoes, right? Depends on where they are in the house, but it'd probably take a minute for you to pick them up and walk to where they go. To give a hug, I could go a minute or a second, depends. I'd put it under a minute. To touch your toes, yeah, 1 second. To cook dinner, an hour, yeah. To go on a bike ride, an hour. To go swimming, I'd hope we'd go for at least an hour. So I'm gonna put that under an hour. So remember, 1 second, 1 minute, which is 60 seconds, and 1 hour, which is 60 minutes. Now, AM and PM, on a clock, there are 24 hours in a day, and that means that our hour hand points to each number on the clock twice. 2 times it will point to them. So the day is split into 2 different parts, or into different parts, morning, afternoon, and night. So 10 o'clock can take place in the morning and once again in the evening. And we use AM and PM to tell them apart. We use AM when time is between midnight and noon. So AM is any time between midnight and noon. Noon is the same as 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Midnight is what we call 12 o'clock at night. You guys are usually asleep at midnight. We use PM for the times between noon and midnight. So PM is noon and midnight. At 12 o'clock noon, it is lunchtime, and at 12 o'clock midnight, it is dark out and you are sleeping. And you are, so that's a good way to tell the difference. Now, I can say that I wake up at 7:30 a.m. and then I brush my teeth for bed at 7:30 p.m. So if you think about it, if you wake up, most of us wake up in the morning in the a.m. So 7:30 a.m., 7:30 happens both a.m. and p.m. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to show you some pictures, and I want you to tell me, does this happen in the a.m. or does it happen in the p.m.? Okay, so take a bath, a.m. or p.m.? Now remember, a.m. is midnight to noon and p.m. is noon to midnight. Let's see, PM. Eat lunch. This is going to be an interesting one. Typically we say, I put AM because we eat lunch at 10:50 at school, and that is still in the AM. We do not eat lunch in the PM, it's in the AM. We have a snack in the PM. Ride to school, AM or PM? Shout it out. Yep, AM. Look at stars, AM or PM? PM. Yep, the stars are out at night, and PM is in the evening. It's at 12 o'clock noon to midnight. So read a book in bed. It looks like he's reading in bed. AM or PM? PM. Make your bed. Yeah, hopefully you do it in the AM after you wake up. Brush your teeth. AM and PM, because you should brush them in the evening as well. When do you do your homework? AM or PM? Most of us are PM. Yep, after school. So those are some things that you guys to tell the difference between AM and PM. So now you're going to go and complete your activity. And we will meet again tomorrow to talk about the hands of a clock. All right, so you will need that clock that I gave you tomorrow for our lesson, okay? Enjoy your activity, and we will be talking soon. Bye.